Welcome to your IELTS listening practice from Spinta.org. This is a mini-test designed to help you practice a specific section of the exam and improve your confidence. The recording will be played one time only, just like in the official test. Let's begin.
Good day, everyone. Today, we will be discussing a significant topic within the field of ecology: invasive species management. This subject is crucial in understanding how we can prevent the introduction of invasive species and manage their impact on our ecosystems through effective strategies and restoration approaches. Invasive species are non-native plants, animals, or microorganisms that, when introduced to a new environment, can cause ecological harm. These species often outcompete native species for resources such as food, habitat, and water, eventually leading to a decline in biodiversity. To manage invasive species effectively, we need to establish prevention strategies and restoration approaches. Prevention is the cornerstone of invasive species management, as it focuses on stopping these species from entering new ecosystems in the first place. Effective prevention measures can significantly reduce the associated costs and ecological impacts. One fundamental prevention strategy is risk assessment. This involves evaluating the likelihood of a species becoming invasive if introduced to a new environment. Such assessments are often conducted using models that analyze environmental conditions, biological characteristics, and historical data on species invasiveness. Another critical strategy is strict regulations on the transport and trade of potential invasive species. For instance, many countries have implemented legislation that controls the importation of certain exotic species. These regulations are vital in preventing invasions that could disrupt local ecosystems. Public awareness campaigns also play an essential role in prevention. Educating the public about the risks associated with invasive species can lead to more responsible gardening practices, pet ownership, and boating habits. Through outreach, communities can learn to avoid planting certain invasive species and responsibly manage those they already have. Now let us transition into how we can restore ecosystems that have been impacted by invasive species. Restoration approaches are critical because even with strong prevention strategies, some invasive species may still establish themselves. The aim here is to return the ecosystem to its pre-invasion state, promoting the recovery of native biodiversity. One effective restoration method is mechanical removal. This includes physically extracting invasive species from the ecosystem. For instance, in habitats where certain plants have taken over, like the common reed, management teams may use cutting or digging methods to reduce their prevalence. Alongside mechanical removal, chemical controls are other avenues for restoration. Herbicides and pesticides can be applied to target invasive species while minimizing harm to native flora and fauna. However, there is an ongoing debate about the environmental impacts of these chemicals, thus making judicious and responsible use crucial. In some cases, biological control is a viable option. This approach involves introducing a natural predator or herbivore that specifically targets the invasive species. A well-documented example of this method includes the introduction of the cactus moth to control invasive prickly pear cacti in Australia. While it has been successful, such measures must be carefully monitored to avoid unintended consequences. Another vital aspect of restoration is monitoring and ongoing research. Detailed studies are necessary to assess the effectiveness of restoration efforts. For example, tracking the population dynamics of both invasive and native species following management interventions allows ecologists to gauge their ecological impacts comprehensively. Furthermore, restoration can also involve community engagement and participation. When local communities are involved in restoration activities, such as replanting native species and maintaining healthy ecosystems, they may develop a stronger connection to their environment and contribute to more sustainable long-term management. So far, we have examined some key strategies for prevention and restoration in invasive species management. Going forward, it is critical to highlight that successful management requires a multifaceted approach combining prevention strategies with restoration techniques. It is also essential to consider the economic aspect of invasive species management. Resources are often limited, and effective management strategies need to prioritize efficient allocation. Cost-effective solutions that incorporate local knowledge are often more likely to succeed. In conclusion, the management of invasive species is an ongoing challenge that demands our attention. By emphasizing prevention strategies such as risk assessment, regulations, and public awareness campaigns, we can significantly mitigate the risk of invasions. Alongside these strategies, restoration approaches like mechanical removal, chemical controls, biological control, and community involvement are fundamental in restoring ecosystems affected by invasive species. As we look to the future, integrating scientific research with community practices will foster more effective invasive species management, ensuring our ecosystems remain healthy and biodiversity thrives.
You have now completed the practice test. When you are ready for a full exam experience, visit us at Spinta.org. There you will find complete mock tests for all 4 skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Our platform provides instant AI feedback for your speaking and writing tasks, along with an accurate prediction of your band score. Take control of your preparation at Spinta.org.